Today we'll be covering the topic called profit and loss. Let's begin with simpler concepts that are involved in this. It also requires the knowledge of how to convert things into percentages and back, but considering that we have already learned that, it should not be very difficult to do so. So, what is profit? Just gonna use another color, maybe blue. So, what is profit? So say you're selling, so you buy an apple for 10 rupees and you want to sell it at a profit, which means that you want to earn money out of it. Now the only way you will earn money out of it is if your selling price is more than your cost price. Cost price is the price at which you bought it. So your selling price is more than your cost price. Selling price. No profit, no loss is when your selling price is your cost price. So for example, you want to so your friend asks you to get a sari from some store, so you buy it and then you tell your friend the price and the friend gives you the same amount of money. So you were just a medium, you did not make any profit nor did you go into loss because your selling price was equal to cost price. Now what is loss? Loss is when your cost price is greater than your selling price. So what that means essentially is that I am buying something but I sell it for a lower price. I don't know why I would do that. There may be some reasons, but suppose I buy an apple for 10 rupees but I sell it for 8 rupees. So I have ended up paying 2 rupees for nothing. So that's why it is called as a loss. So I'm just going to give formulae for profit and loss now. So profit is, there's an easier way to do this. Profit is actually selling price minus cost price. Obviously this is greater than 0. Loss is cost price minus selling price. Profit percent. So how much profit did I make? So I buy something for 100 rupees and I sell it for 180 rupees. So my profit will essentially be selling price minus cost price, which is 180 minus 100 in this case, and this will be divided by the cost price because that is the original amount at which I bought it. So that in this case is 100. This comes out to 80%. So I made 80% profit. Say I want to have 100% profit. So I not only gain back whatever I have paid, but I also get the equal amount as profit. So what would that mean? That would mean that if I buy something at 100 rupees, I sell it at 200 rupees and I make a profit of 100 rupees, which is equal to my cost price. So that is 100% profit. Anyway, I diverged a little. So profit percent is essentially profit upon cost price. Simplifying that would be selling price minus cost price upon cost price into 100, and this percent. Now loss percent would similar be loss upon cost price into 100, which is cost price minus selling price upon cost price into 100%. That is my loss percent. Now what is my selling price? So I know that I have a profit of 8% and my cost price is something and my selling price is something. So we know these values. So how do I find my selling price from this? So I know that 8 is actually equal to 100 into a profit, which is SP minus CP upon CP. So my my selling price would now be, just cross multiply these terms, 8 into CP upon 100. This would be, so this value is actually my selling price minus cost price, and so selling price would be 8 into CP upon 100 plus CP. Simplifying this, I would get that as 100 plus profit percent upon 100 into CP. So this is my selling price. Similarly for loss, if you just do a similar derivation, loss, say it is 8% now, so 8 will now be 100 into CP minus SP upon CP. So essentially my selling price would now be 100 minus loss percent upon 100 into CP. So yeah, that is how you will go about this. If you cross multiply all of this, you can actually derive your cost price out of this entire formula, all of these formulae. So essentially your cost price, so in case of a profit, I'm just going to summarize all formula here. In case of a profit, which is your selling price minus cost price, your profit percent is profit upon CP into 100. Your selling price is 100 plus profit percent upon 100 into cost price. Your, if in case of, and your cost price would actually be, in case of profit, 100 upon 100 plus profit percent into SP. Similarly, if we want to figure it out for loss, it would be, which is cost price minus selling price, it would be loss percent would be loss upon cost price into 100. Your selling price would actually be 100 minus loss percent upon 100 into cost price, and your cost price would actually be 100 upon 100 minus loss percent into selling price. Now let's talk about a discount. A discount is essentially marked price minus selling price. So marked price is basically what the shopkeeper will tell you, or what is written on the, what is actually like at the store, the cost that is told to people automatically is the marked price. So say I go to a store and they are trying to sell me a box for 150 rupees. So I bargain and I get it for 100 rupees. So my discount would actually be 50 rupees in this case, and my marked price in that case would be 150 and selling price would be 100. Now I am going to focus on PYQs, but I'm going to give similar PYQs, like questions like these can be expected in an exam. So they are not precisely what PYQ was, but similar to previous year questions. So my first question here is, if cost price of 15 articles is equal to the selling price of 18 articles, find the profit or loss percentage. Now we know that cost price is of 15 articles and selling price is of 18 articles. So essentially what that means is that, say your so you have so you sold 15 articles for 1 rupee. So what that means is that let's assume you sold 15 articles. So you bought 15 articles for 1 rupee. So cost price of one article would actually be 1 upon 15 rupees. This is CP of one article. Now that is equal to the selling price of 18 articles. So what that means is that you sold 18 articles at 1 rupee. So your selling price of one article would now be rupees 1 by 18. So now you can simplify this as your cost price upon selling price, the ratio will be 1 upon 15 upon 1 upon 18, which would be 18 upon 15. 3 5s are 3 6 are 6 upon 5. We know that the formula for profit or loss will be like, so if you just want to find the mod, which is like the magnitude of this, it would be magnitude of cost price minus selling price upon cost price into 100. In this case we know that let's just assume one of them as a variable. So cost price is actually equal to 6 by 5 selling price. So substituting that, or we could just write selling price is equal to 5 by 6 of cost price. Yeah, so now it would be cost price minus 5 by 6 cost price upon cost price into 100. So we would cancel out all of this and we would be left with 1 by 6 into 100%. Now as we can see, cost price is greater than selling price, therefore this is the loss percent. So now we have loss percent is equal to 100 upon 6, which is 2 3s are 2 50s are, so 50 by 3%. This can also be written as 16 3s are 48, 2 by 3%. So the 16 3s are 48, 48 plus 2 is 50. So yeah, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so a person sells a bottle at 10% profit and a soap at 15% loss. So a person has a bottle and a soap. Let's just assume this is a soap. Okay, so he sells this case 1 at 10% profit and this is at minus 15%, so that's loss, and he gains rupees 3. This is case 1. Case 2, so he actually sells the bottle at 5% loss and the soap at 10% profit. So he gains rupees 0. This is the no profit no loss condition. What is the cost price of soap? So let's assume that the cost price, the price at which he buys these items, so cost price of bottle is X and cost price of soap is Y. In case 1, what we see is 10% profit. So which means that your selling price would actually be 110% of your cost price. Where do I get these numbers from? The formula that we have discussed above. So which is like actually 100 plus profit upon 100 into CP, which in this case would be 110 upon 100 into CP, which is 110% of X. So case 1, we have 110% of X plus we have 100 minus 15 upon 100 into CP. So because it's loss, so that will be 85% of Y, and this is equal to 3 rupees. So if we just turn it into numbers, which is 110 upon 100, we get 1.1% of X, 1.1 into X plus 0.85 into Y is equal to 3. Just going to make this into a multiplication sign. Okay. Case 2, we have a 5% loss and a 10% profit. Similarly, it would be 0.95 into X because 5% loss and 10% profit, hence it would be 1.1 into Y, and this is actually not equal to 0 because you did not, okay, so 3% rupees 3 profit means that if he bought it at X plus Y, both of it, he's selling it at X plus Y plus 3 rupees. So this would actually be X plus Y plus 3, which would reflect here X plus Y. Yeah. Similarly, no profit no loss means that he bought it at X plus Y and he's selling it at X plus Y. So that would be X plus Y. Now just after simplifying these equations, we will realize that 0.1x minus 0.15y is equal to 3, and 0.1y minus 0.05x is equal to 0. So upon simplifying these equations, we realize that, so we're just going to make this equal 0.05x. So we multiply this by 100 and we get 10y is equal to 5x, and that means your 2y is equal to x. We want to find the cost price of soap. Soap in this case we've considered to be y, hence y is equal to, so we're just going to leave this in terms of y. So now if we put this in the first equation, we will get that 0.1 into 2y minus 0.15y is equal to 3. So this means that 0.2 minus 0.15y is equal to 3. Y into 0.05 is equal to 3. Hence, then this can be written as 5 upon 100, and this is actually 5 ones are 5 20s are, so y is equal to 60 rupees, and this is the cost of my soap, cost price. So in this question we know that A is a person who owns X and X is worth 25,000 rupees. So A originally bought X for 25,000 rupees. Now A sells it to B for a profit of 10%. So A sells it to B at a profit of 10%. So basically CP for B would be 110 into 25,000. So this is your cost price for B. Now B sells it to C for a loss of 10%. So now your 10% loss translates to 0.9 into price, which is 90% of your cost price is what he sold it to C for. So cost price for C would actually be 0.9 into 1.1 into 25,000, and that is equal to rupees 24750. So a question which is this big can actually have an answer that is quite simple to find, and the solution can be quite short. So always try to simplify things in terms of variables and immediate percentages. That is all I have to share for this topic. Thank you.